Welcome to the More Than Music podcast, the business edition. I'm Cheryl Jackson. I'm excited to be here because I am excited to present this business that is near and dear to my heart. It is the Michael Matthews Development and Construction Company. My good friend and sister, Dana Poindexter, is here with me. How are you?
Very well, very well. I'm excited to be here.
Me too. Me too. It is something when you're friends and like we're really like family where we've watched our children grow. We had children together and that kind
You
of
were
thing.
in my wedding
I was in
27
your
years ago.
wedding.
27
That's
years
right.
ago. Mhm.
But it's something to me when family and friends, close friends, invest in your business. And so I am very, very humbled that both you and Michael Poindexter, who is her husband and also co-owner of this amazing company, wanted to invest in Cheryl Jackson Enterprises, celebrating our stellar weekend, our stellar win. And so I am really, really excited to talk about all the things that you guys offer, what your company does. It's two excellent businesses collaborating, right?
Absolutely.
And so I am really, really excited about this podcast. Now, wherever you're watching, I want you to like and to share and to send your comments, right? So we want to be able to address any questions. Dana comes with a wealth of knowledge when it comes to businesses, and we're going to talk about their personal. So we're not just talking about all the amazing things the company does, but we want to give some nuggets on how you guys got to where you are in your company and in your business. So this is the business edition of the More Than Music podcast. And I'm excited about it. So thank you for joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on all the things. We appreciate you joining us. So again, like and share. Tell everybody Dana Poindexter is on from Michael Matthews Construction and Development. So I'm going to jump right in because I know we're going to talk and time is going to be up and we didn't get everything we want into this interview or in this podcast. So we talk a lot intimately about the process, right? When I talk to different business owners, I want people to know the process. Right now, you guys are doing so well. I'm talking government contracts. I mean, I've seen you do my family's homes. I've seen the product of your own home. And I always tell my husband, I want that. When I go to their house, it is just so amazing. Your eye for creativity, your eye for decorating, your eye. I mean, I'm not a decorator. I mean, I think I like things, and if I like it, then I'm going to place it. But you actually envision this stuff for yourself and other people. So you come with a wealth of knowledge and gifts. I want to start in the beginning. Right?
Wow.
Because you didn't always do construction and development. Your expertise falls where?
Technology.
Got it.
I used to work for DOD, a university, local university. So, and government. I was a government worker for Department of Agriculture. So,
wow.
Yes.
Wow. So tell us how we started then. I mean,
so we started with Michael. He worked for a local company. He was a warehouse worker. And a union rep. And one of the members, they had a union meeting one day, and one of the union members mentioned that their son, he was a little disappointed. Their son didn't want to go into property preservation. And so Michael got all the information and they were talking, and Michael decided to take a 3-month leave of absence from work and try it out. And it went phenomenal. Him and another coworker started off, and it went really, really well. And so at the end of the 3 months, we were like, no, you don't quit this. Keep going with this. Put in your resignation.
Yeah.
And that's how we started.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was that? What was the program about? Like, what was it that he had to do for the 3 months?
For the 3 months, it was for a broker. It was for a mortgage company and a broker. And what they would have to do is they would go into foreclosure homes and get them ready for resale. So he did the life cycle of the property, everything from roofing, electrical, painting, landscaping, anything that needed to be done, flooring, bathrooms, anything that needed to be done to make that house show as new again. He went in and did it. So,
Wow.
yeah, and it was hands-on training at that time. It was hands-on training.
So did he have that skill set
He
before?
did not have that skill set.
Oh my God.
Through that process, we partnered with Prince George's Community College. They offered a program. It was called CMBD.
Mm-hmm.
So he went through. We took the whole. We took everybody. Not only this is a few years in. We went in. I think it was about 5 years after we started the company. I quit my job in 2001 after learning that my company would not give me a raise unless I brought in a contract. I brought in a contract. That contract turned into $1 million contract. And I realized after not getting the raise, I realized I can better be used in the company. So I left that company and I came on full time. Michael was already full time. I came in full time and we decided we need more training because we were starting to hire more people and we
Gotcha.
had to get real training. So we partnered with CMBD. We did a 2-year extensive training under Prince George's Community College.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went on and did construction management under Clark Construction Company, which is a major construction company here in Washington, D.C. And we also did certifications through EPA. We went through all the certifications so that we could be a full functional, real construction company.
Wow.
So it was a long process, a lot of work,
Mm-hmm.
but it worked because he had a vision and I wanted to see that vision succeed because I saw once he went into it, you can do this. This is for you. This is something you should do. And so in doing it, we saw other opportunities with HUD as subcontractors with other companies. And we got like the top 10 banks to use our services. And so we were just gun-ho and hungry.
Yeah.
When you depended on and you don't have anybody else and everything falls on you, you get real hungry.
Listen, being business owners is so courageous because a lot of people, like you say, they start off and they do it like part-time and then, but for Mike to jump into it 100%, you know what I mean, and being the head of the household. And he is the type that is literally the head of the household,
Absolutely.
like Christian principles, knowing direction, bringing the family along, knowing which direction he'd like to go into, and then having somebody as you. We always talk about this, how our husbands married strong-willed women. A personality types.
Yes, very much.
So we're not the type to just go sit back and be like, whatever. We're going to be obedient. We're going to follow the word of the Lord. But honey, we're going to have some input.
Very much so. Very vocal.
We're going to have some input. But to some degree, that's great, though. I guess that's a great balance that you and Mike were able to create. Talk about some of the struggles in the beginning, right? Because you got this good government job where you getting paid every week or every 2 weeks, and that's coming in. You got full benefits. Yes, you got all this. And I know the fact that you were having children at the same time.
I was. Oh, wow. Okay, so
let's talk about that. The beginning.
Maybe you shouldn't do a full business and have children at the same time. But you know what? It was God. It was God that kept us because that is not easy. Let me just say, being in business and having no other income is very difficult to do. Yeah. It's not impossible to do. It doesn't rely basic. So this is what I say to people. You can get all the education you want. You can get all of the book knowledge, but until real life hits you and you've got to start putting things in place that doesn't come in a book. Yeah. That's when like real life really happens. And how do you have to be able to pivot? So my big thing is pivoting. Are you able when things happen, circumstances come up? Yeah. How do you pivot to get things done? You have to, first of all, you have to be a problem solver. Every good business solves a problem. Yeah. So you have to be a problem solver. And then 2, are you able to pivot? You can't get stuck in a mind frame or a trade. You know, our business changed 3 times. What we did change. One year we had landscaping was a big thing. Yeah. 1 year, a major contract was through a few years, a lot of our major contracts were through military bases and treasury building and a lot of government. But we had to pivot when 2008 happened, when 9/11 happened. Yeah. You have to be able to pivot. You don't have those contracts. So how do you pivot? How do you move? How do you still sustain? How do you look at things differently. You have to be able to be open-minded. You have to be prayerful because you got to come up with a new way.
Yeah.
And so pivoting, learning, being open, listening, because God will tell you if you listen.
Yeah.
And then trying. You got to get out there and do it.
Yeah.
You can't let what. And so this is another thing. Everybody has an opinion, but nobody gets out and does. Everybody has an opinion about what you should be doing and how you're doing it.
Yeah.
So to speak, oh, you're doing it wrong. You shouldn't do it this way. What we've learned is those opinions count only if you're doing it too. You can't tell me how to make $1 million if you're not making $1 million.
If you're not a millionaire already. Yeah. Yeah.
You haven't walked in these shoes.
Yeah.
So to hear people always give an opinion, and when you're in business, they do give you a lot of opinions, and sometimes God gives you a new, fresh way of doing stuff. It may not make sense. It may not make sense.
So let's talk about working with your husband. Like, I know that there are people that probably, do things as a couple, but you guys work together 24/7, live with each other, work with each other, live with each other, work with each other. Talk about some of the challenges and how you may have overcome them.
Okay. So this is always evolving because people evolve. So we're always evolving. One of the challenges is listening, communication, listening, speaking. How do we speak to each other? How do we speak to each other on the job when I have an idea and he has an idea? How are we going to get this idea to come through? How do I get him to hear this idea? We have to be creative in the way that we communicate. We have to be respectful at all times. So what I've learned to do as a wife, he's head still. Even in the workplace, he's still head.
Gotcha.
So if there's an idea I have, if there is something that I need to get across to him and he can't hear me in the time, and because he has a lot going on, he has a lot on his, he's constantly taking care of everything, everybody, co-workers, we're in people's houses. If we're in that situation at that very moment, one of the things I do is step back. I have to listen. He may not be able to hear me, but our teams hear me.
Yeah.
So sometimes they'll explain, hey, this is what she's saying, and I think this can work. But that comes from listening to God. I've learned by hearing from God, shut up. Just shut up and step back.
Yeah.
Let me hear what he's saying, and then I can make a better decision. If it's something that I see, because when you step back, he has a lot of expertise, but because I'm right behind him, I see sometimes things he doesn't see. I'm very detail oriented. I'm a problem solver. So I'm going to see things that he may necessarily not see. But God will, I'll tap him. And we have little ways of saying, hey.
That's Dwight, because Dwight could give you vision. He will say, okay, we need to do this and this and this. And this is what we need to do. But I'll have to give the steps. Like I have to step in and say, okay, I get what you're trying to say. So that means we have to do A, B, C, and D. And then I begin to implement the steps. So the vision is one thing, but then to implement is another thing. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? What is his strength and what is his weakness when it comes to the business?
One of my strengths is I'm a visionary. One of my strengths is I'm very detailed and I'm very creative. One of my downfalls or weaknesses is that I want what I want. I want it.
I heard him say you're his worst client.
I am, because I can follow the money. So, and one of his strengths is money management.
Yeah.
Being able to stay on task and on budget. Because I am so creative. Okay, look, let's turn this around. Let's put this down here this way. And he's like, that's not in the budget. And so I have to be able to pull back. Another strength, another one of his strengths is that he has the ability to say no. One of his weaknesses is he's not soft when he says it.
Right. He don't know how to season it.
He doesn't. But he is an awesome manager. He can manage multiple things at one time. He can go in and and things happen when he walks through the door. All he has to do is walk through the door and stuff starts to fall in place. So that those are his strengths. He doesn't have to do a lot to get things done. He can get done a lot of stuff in a very short time. He has organization skills. I'm not very organized, but I'm very detailed.
Got
So
you.
we play off of each other.
I love it.
We
I
play off
love
each
it.
other.
I want to talk about that, the business aspect of it and some of the challenges, because those who are watching, I think they could learn from that, right?
Mhm.
And then you have some marriages that have been destroyed because they work together, right?
I've
Because
seen it.
they're with their spouses 24/7, right? It's
Mm.
no break, it's no that. Like Dwight and I don't work in the same space, and I can't wait to get home. Like, and it could be nothing just to sit with him, right? In the
In the
end of the
same
day,
room.
in the same room. We may not even have conversation, but I know the times that I'm away from him that I miss him, right?
Mhm.
But I don't know if I could work with him every day, all day, and it's still working out. But I don't know. If the circumstance was different, we'll probably make it
You
work.
could
But
because you respect your husband.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we work so well because I respect him
Mm-hmm.
and he values me.
Got
That's
you.
important. So I know you guys would do really well.
We would do that. You don't think I would get rid of him?
Bunch of white. I can hear you now. Bunch of white.
Absolutely. We actually do couples ministry together as well, Dana and I. And we're marriage advocates, and we believe in healthy marriages, healthy Christian marriages. We are very transparent, and we are very real with the struggles and the things that we deal with.
Mhm.
We share that with one another. And we sharpen each other. Right.
Absolutely.
And so it's not sugar coated. A lot of times in our couples ministry, people feel like, oh, I don't want to come because your marriage seems so perfect. But we talk about the
For real.
imperfections. We talk about, and we want to do it God's way. So sometimes the word finds us and hit us upside the head. And other times it'll find them and hit them upside the head. And all that is it plays into the business and the quality of work. Let's get into talking about some of the services of Michael Matthews Construction and Development. You talked about it. Sometimes it was the contracts for landscaping, but talk about all the things that you guys offer.
Sure. So we do a full range of services. We do, first of all, we cover the DMV area. So Maryland, DC, and Northern Virginia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And we do renovations. We, from bathrooms to kitchens to basements. If you need electrical, if you need your roof just blew off, you can give us a call. So we are a one-stop shop. Whatever you need, we pretty much have it in the house. We also offer financing. So for those who think that this is
so I need
unattainable,
a deck. I can finance my.
You can finance your deck,
No,
and
that's
we
awesome.
do decks too.
Yeah.
Patios, everything.
Right, exactly. We had sump pump problems before.
Yes.
We've had, anything. I mean, I've had Mike cut the grass when Dwight was active, and we've had work done on my mom's house. We had work. My aunt had work done, and is getting work done. Quite a few family members, because when you find somebody and you find integrity, right? And it's nothing. If it's anything that you're dealing with in your home and your business, commercial, they can do it.
Yes.
All of the renovations, our church looks amazing because everything from in our church, Michael Matthews Construction has done, from our conference rooms to our multi-purpose room to our sanctuary, and it's stellar. And so I'm so excited, family, to present their business. Let's talk about integrity. We are, we taped the podcast at Coal and Crush in Alexandria, Virginia. And the first podcast for business we did was with Coal and Crush. And they talked about how they were ripped off when it came to construction. We experienced that in our church, where we had people come in and contracts and never complete the contract and run away with the money and that kind of thing. And then you have people who kind of skim, right? I know you've probably done jobs where you went back in and was like, why did they didn't put they cut corners on this?
Yes.
And so because we don't know construction, because we don't know development, people can, talk about the integrity, why, it's important that you guys do, work in integrity. And have there been opportunities where you turned down because the opportunity wasn't integral?
Well, yes. To answer your question, have
I know
there
that's
been
multiple
jobs?
questions, but
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so let me start with the last first.
Okay.
Yes, we have turned down jobs because of the integrity.
Mm.
Um, wanting to go under the radar, wanting us to do something just to get the job done so you can sell our property. No, we're not doing
Oh.
that. Banks do it.
Hmm.
Investors do it. No, we're just not doing it. We don't want, because our name is on it. We're attached to it.
Got
It is
you. So don't
not.
use the quality of equipment. Don't use the
Don't use
quality
the
of
quality.
material.
Don't do things to code. They just want to patch and move on because they want a quick sale. We've
Got you.
experienced that so many times. And 50% when we opened up to residential, because at first we did not do residential clients. We just did banks
Commercial.
and commercial
Mhm.
and business to business. We found out we were missing a niche. We were missing a great amount of people. We were in the community every day, but we were not servicing the community.
Hmm.
And we saw a need. A lot of seniors need our services. So we
Wow.
opened up because we seen so many seniors. It was basically the seniors that kept pulling on us when we were in communities and neighborhoods. We used to do 200 houses a week. And so being in different
Wow.
places all the time, people always stop you. Hey, what are you guys doing? That's the favorite,
Mhm.
right before they call the police.
Right. Like, what are they
Some
doing?
neighborhoods,
What are they
yes.
doing over there?
Right. So we saw a distressed community. We saw people getting taken advantage of. We had to go in. 50% of our clients are people who have used other contractors, and we have to go in and either
And
finish the
fix
job
it.
or fix it.
Eh.
And it is nothing like seeing somebody who is a senior, an older woman who has been
Mhm.
taken advantage of and now doesn't have the money to get
Mhm.
it done correctly. That's the integrity is not there anymore. So that is what we pride ourselves on. That is why
Yeah.
we're hands-on. That is why when we go into a property, at some point in our work, you will see Michael or myself,
Mhm.
because we want you to know it is us who's coming in. It is our
Mhm.
people. It is us who will ensure that your job gets done with integrity, on time,
Mhm.
within your budget, and you can look around and see this is done right. This is up
Yeah.
to code. This is what it's supposed to look like.
Mhm.
And then there's sometimes when we have to go in and fix something. It may not look great, but it's not leaking anymore
Yeah.
because you might not have had the money to do the drywall, but you needed the roof patch. You might have a little brown spot, and then
Mhm.
later on, you're calling me because I came in, I did what I was supposed to do,
Mhm.
and I left you better than what. So our motto is leave the house better than when you came in.
Got
So
you.
if it's dirty and I'm coming in to do a service in my area, it's going to be clean when I leave.
Right.
It's just a few
First off,
extra
because you're not
steps.
gonna work in the dirty
I'm not working in the
environment.
dirt. But I always
I can
leave a
see you.
property better
Yeah.
than when I got there, so
Yeah.
that you can't say, well, they left my house in ambassador. No,
Yeah.
that's not what we do. So we take it takes us a little bit longer to
Mhm.
come in when we start a project. One of the things that we ensure is that we don't start a project until we can finish the project.
Mhm.
Some contractors come in and they have 10 jobs going on.
Mhm.
We may have 10 jobs, but we're not coming in and then hitting and missing. We're here today, we're
Yeah.
gone tomorrow, and then we're here next Thursday. We don't do that. We
Mhm.
finish the job that we started. So you see us until it's finished.
Got you.
So it's important to take a few of those steps, and we're reachable, we're touchable.
Yeah.
You can pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Dana, what time are you going to get here?" Well, you're not going to really need to say that because I'm going to tell you what time I'm getting there. But
Right.
if you have any questions, you can reach us.
Yeah.
We're reachable. We're touchable.
See, that's the thing. Because if your house is tore up and you waiting on stuff to get done, I'm eating out because my kitchen ain't finished.
Oh my
You don't
gosh.
want to have to chase down.
Your contract.
Yeah.
You do
You
not.
don't want to have to. And if you're running chasing down your contractor,
You have
you
the
might
wrong
want to fire
contractor.
them and reach out to Michael Matthews. All right,
Yes.
let's talk about the process. I'm a new client. And so tell us from start to finish how that process goes. What happens when you get there? You know what I mean?
Sure.
This is what we do. This is how we manage it. This is how we end the project.
So from start is the contact. You contact us via email, you contact us via website,
Mhm.
or you call us. We come in, we do a consultation. It's a
And give
25
us that right now because we just talked
Okay.
about it. So.
Okay. So you can reach us at www.michaelmatthews with an S, con.com.
Got you.
And you can also give us a call at 301-440-9710.
Got it. So
Yeah.
I believe Brandon's working on putting that banner up so people can see
Thank you.
what that is. So
Yes.
so we want to make sure. Okay, so for start to finish, go
Okay,
ahead.
yes. So start to finish, you give us a call. We do a consultation, which is $25,
Mhm,
and that covers just coming out, doing the proposal, that kind of thing.
mhm.
And then we walk through and tell you the steps that's needed to get the job done.
Got you.
And then we give you a start date. You don't give us a deposit until we have a start date.
Oh,
We don't want your money until you're ready to get the work done.
so the consultation does it entails everything that you think you need to get done, like
Everything you need to step by step by
Mhm,
step. And so you know what you're looking at. And
mhm,
the consultation also includes your price.
mhm,
It's sent to you, it's a written proposal for 30 days.
mhm.
It tells you a list of everything we're going to do, come in and do. We also, the way we price is we tell you everything from how much it costs us to dump to gas fees, we administrative, everything. Every company
Mhm.
charges them. Not everybody is transparent. So we're a
Oh,
transparent
to say,
company.
okay, these are the
These are the
hidden
fees.
fees
Yes.
that are not
Yes.
so hidden because
That are
we
not
want you.
hidden. Every company charges them.
Yeah,
Nobody is transparent about telling you that they
got
offer it,
you.
but we are. We're transparent. And
Mhm.
so it's just basically 4 steps. It's real simple. It's not, we don't come in to look to see what you have, to judge you. We're not looking at anything. We're
Yeah.
just coming in to give you the service that you need.
So for financing, how does
Yes.
that interject in
So
that?
on our website at the very top, there is a financing button. It's 2 minutes to see if you're approved or disapproved
Got
and
you.
how much you're approved. We have 4 different ways of financing you. So you have 4 options when you decide you want to finance with us.
Mhm,
You can put it on a credit card, and then we give you 3 other options.
mhm.
So we have a credit card and then 3 other ways. So you get
Got it.
choices. We give you choices.
Got it. Got
Mhm.
it. So if you were to choose a project that you're most proud of, and this
Mm.
is 26 years, right?
Ooh,
26 years of
my
doing
gosh.
business. It might be a couple, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But talk about it might be something that may not have been a major project or something that pulled on your heartstring. It
Mm.
may have been a project because I know that you guys have done a number of things for free for people. With Holy Spirit, their
Don't
marketing,
say that too
their
loud.
marketing manager sitting there like, what's happening?
And she
We're not
knows.
offering free services, but I do know, but I do know your heart, and I do know that there are some opportunities where you said, Holy Spirit said to do,
Don't
right?
charge. Yes.
And
Yes.
so if you were to pinpoint maybe 1 or 2 projects that kind of like
Mm.
sticks out for this of the 26 years that you've been in business, that you want to share.
Wow. Okay. Don't get me to tear up.
I'm offering this piece.
So let me tell you about a client. This was a few years ago, and she had another contractor who came in. She lived in the DC area, and when we went in, the entire upstairs was ripped out, completely down to the studs. And she had been living like that for 10 years. Yes,
No.
because she could not. He took all of her money. He took over 50,000. He was supposed to come in and redo her bathroom and re-drywall some of the walls. And she had been living like that for 10 years because she had saved her money to get this project done. She worked hard. She took money from her retirement. And when we got there, she was just already beaten down. She was very hesitant. When we come in, one of the things that we do is that if there are men on site, I go in first. And so she was a little hesitant about letting us come in, Michael and myself, because she had been taken advantage of and she had some other things that happened to her. So she was afraid. She was very fearful. And by the end of the project, we did not charge. She was one of the clients that we did not charge a
Wow.
lot of money. We did charge her some,
Yeah.
but we did not charge her a lot. And when we left, it was a completely different person. It was like therapy for her.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you have to remember. In every business, when you're giving a service, it's almost like therapy. You have to go through, what is the client going through? What are their mental health issues, if they have any? What are some of the challenges that, because you're speaking to them as a person and you're speaking to the situation and you're speaking to the project.
Mhm.
So when we finished, she was a different person. She was happy. She was I think our service healed her as a person.
Wow.
And we got a lot of other projects through that as well. Family members
And you know
called.
what? And that's just so
Yeah.
awesome. That's just how God is, right? That, when you make those sacrifices, that it's not just for that thing, right? Like he'll use it to build and grow. And I think that's one of the reasons that Michael Matthews Construction and Development is what it is. It's because of the heart, it's the integrity, it is the investment that you've made in people, and it goes beyond the actual project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so can I give you a second one that I love? We used to have a contract with DC Parks and Recs to do a lot of snow removal in the district. And one of the things that we will never get credit for, because you would not see it, but one of the things that we did was we started when we did snow removal, we went to where seniors were over in Trenton Avenue, over in Southeast. We would go and plow for free, just plow some of the alleys for the seniors, plow some of the areas. And they used to call us and say, hey, are you guys coming through? Are you coming through? So those are things you would never know, but those are the ways we give back. Just little things you don't see, we do to just give back to the community.
I love that. I love it. And so I really wanted to talk about, the bigger projects and the things that kind of stick out. So what are some horror stories? What are some places you went into and was like, because I know you guys have gutted out projects. I've known we've talked about some of the rodents and some folk who may have been hoarders. And let's talk about some of the horror projects now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So let me give you one that's really funny. We were doing a house. Okay, why do I keep saying the district? I hate to keep saying it because it's not just the district. Let me just help you. Let me put that in there. Okay, but so our clients love to see us do the nasty stuff, which is you got to go in and deal with the rats, the roaches, that kind of thing. For some reason, people like to see that. Michael, we had just finished talking to a real estate agent about this house that we were getting ready to go in. And she's like, look, we've had some squatters in the house. They won't they won't evacuate the house, that kind of thing. And so as Michael is standing there, a rat crawls up his pants leg. It was right there at his foot. And so he couldn't say anything. And then it crawled up his pants leg. And so he's jumping. And then all you see is him running down the alley, screaming and hollering. So that was hilarious.
That's one for the record books.
Let me tell you, that was hilarious. He was no more good. He was
he was probably home scrubbing.
He was no more good.
Because what if it bit him? Like, thank God it didn't, though, right? See, that's I went somewhere else with it.
No. So, but he thought he was getting ready to die, but it crawled up his leg, and so that is one of those. We have so many horror stories of houses. I remember this one house. I don't know if it was squatters or if it was the person who was being, again, we used to do foreclosures. So I don't know if it was the squatters or the homeowners who was getting evicted, but their tub was full of feces. The tub was completely full of feces.
So they was using the tub to go.
They were with buckets on top of buckets on top of buckets of urine. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if they were doing that to make it so it wouldn't sell. I don't know. But in the beginning, that's what we had to do. We had to go out and make it new again, which means we had to clean it. Did I say we had to clean it?
Listen, construction and development is not for the weak. You hear what I'm saying?
Baby.
It's not for the weak.
It's not.
Now, let me tell you something. I've known Dana, and Dana's a twin who her sister's a beautician. I've known them to do beauty products, do beauty. I used to get my hair done. I know makeup and nails. You see her. You see her. But you don't mind
getting dirty.
You don't mind getting dirty.
No. I'll jump on a mower. I don't mind. I'll work on a car. No. That's all right.
Girl.
You got to have balance. You got to be well-rounded.
We differ. But that's why you're great at what you guys do at Michael Matthews. And so I also, I want to give nuggets to other business owners because you guys have a great formula. And then also talk about some of the things in the midst of it that you guys offer to clients. So we've done a number of that. But let's talk about, because we're girls, right? Let's talk about the female aspect of being in business and some of the pros and cons, because I know, being a professional, there have been, I'm over the women's division of the National Association of Gospel Radio.
Yes.
And because I advocate for women in business, right? For those of us that are in Fortune 500 companies and entertainment. And then for you in this construction business, how does women fare in that when it comes to this kind of business?
In the last 10 years, it has grown. The doors have opened quite a bit. But prior to that, not so much. Prior to, it was very, very difficult. A lot of times when we would have to split up for projects, Michael would be on one project, that would be on another project. I literally would have to, even with some of my employees, I would literally have to get him on the phone, because the ability for them to hear from a woman tell them what to do, was a little difficult. So, it just can be very difficult.
So we really, because we're about to embark upon a female running for president, right?
Yes, I'm excited.
But that we still live in I'm excited about that too. But we still live in a society that kind of see women as second grade citizens.
And as a woman, you have to be intelligent enough to be able to use your femininity to speak for you. So I just
that's so good.
Use it to speak for you. Yeah.
That's so good, because some people will see women in business, and I know women in corporate or women in entertainment, as a double negative, because first off, we're African American. Secondly, we're women. Yes. And so they would see that as a double negative. And so then, the pay scale is different.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean? But honey, put an African American woman on the job,
and you're getting it done. You're getting it done.
And to talk about the respect level. So it's great that Mike is there to balance it out, right? But you're actually a boss too. So So what would you say to a female entrepreneur who it may not even be construction and development, but how to navigate that? Use your femininity. I love that. Femininity. What does that mean? I know what it means, but
you don't have to be hard. You don't have to be. You don't have to
be a capital. Industry, you don't have to be a capital B.
You don't. And I've been called that quite a bit. I've been called that even in house. I've been called that. I've heard it.
Because you're stern.
Because I'm stern. I know what needs to be done, and I'm quality control. So if it's not done right, I'm going to tell you about it. But I even had to learn how to speak to a man. Men don't want me to come to them. You need to do this. And so I had to learn how to even soften that a little bit, but be stern. That is a way, you have to, it's a balancing act. You have to balance it. I need the job done. I need it done correctly. I need it done now. And I don't want to be on the job arguing with you about getting this done.
Right.
So,
simple as that, if you don't do it, then we don't need you. If you have pushback.
But again, that's where the softness and wisdom comes in. I want you're great at what you do.
Yeah.
So let me use my wisdom on how to get you to do what I need you to do and make you think that it's you doing it.
Baby, because that's girl power right there.
That's real girl power.
I'm dealing with that situation even as we speak, but it's, I keep hearing, because I grew up in Northwest DC.
Yes.
Have to give,
and so we know how to bring
always have to give this. I have to give this precursor every single time, sis, that I'm not a pushover, right? And I'm the baby in my family, and my brother's 7 years older, and he taught me to be tough.
Yes.
And I fought. I used to fight, and I never lost a fight.
There you go.
And so my fight. My fight can be different. Now, now that I'm walking in the will of the Lord, I really don't want to be in that space, right? So that's my challenge, because I know I can go all the way left.
As a woman, we have
and handle this differently. But as a Christian woman, God has given us some power and ability. And when I really understood, Dana, our strength as women, right? When I understood our power and what we bring life to a situation. We're life givers, whether you can have children or not. The innate ability that women have is to bring life to a situation. And we can bring a negative life to it or a positive life to it. Like we could take that thing, Totally.
We can send you on the rooftop.
We can send you on the rooftop. Or we can make this situation a lot better. And you use those. I mean, even when it comes to being submissive to our husbands, not being manipulative, but knowing our strength and being confident in that.
There's a thing that I used to say, let me show you my power. Let me show you my power.
But you got to know it though, right?
You have to know it.
Yeah.
And you have to know how to wield it. So there's power in being quiet sometimes. My quietness is a power of its own.
Ooh.
Because I didn't.
And we're not talking about the silent treatment because that's manipulation.
No, that's different.
Yeah.
That's manipulation. But there is power in me just shutting up.
Yeah.
There is a strength in you when you learn, let me hold that storm.
Yeah.
There's power. It takes power for you not to just let it all loose. There is strength in that. And sometimes people see that as a weakness.
No.
As a deficient. Oh, she's just a pushover. No, I'm not a pushover. I see what you're doing.
I'm just not using this energy to argue with you because I'm not giving you that. I'm not giving you an argument.
Because then that means you control me. I don't control you. So I like to be in control. I like to be in control. And I don't want to be the woman out in the street yelling and screaming and hollering. I don't want to be that person at home. I don't want to be that person at home. I want, when I open my mouth, you realize that there's something important to say.
Yeah.
And you're hungry enough to want to hear it.
And that right there demands respect.
It does.
Because you're going to either be out there looking disrespectful, being disrespectful, when I still hold the pen to your chat.
Say that. See, I know who I am. I know this doesn't exist.
Or the key to your finished project. Or, you know what I mean?
And I'm not arguing there either.
Yeah.
There are times, you talked about the difficult times. There are times when people who see you walk through the door, they want your service, great service, but then they feel like you don't deserve the pay to which service you just gave or rendered. So there is a strength in just letting God be God. Telling you this is what you owe. This is, and having all of my ducks in a row. But I'm not arguing about anything.
I'm not doing that. Oh, that's power.
It's power, and it's a lot of self-sacrifice. Okay, God. Sometimes when you finish walking through those doors and walking through those situations, you have to go back to God. Okay, God, I need you to rebuild me because I feel broken in this, and you made me be quiet. You gave me this strength, this silent strength, this silent power.
Yeah.
Now heal it because it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
And so.
Ooh, you got to have tough skin.
Yeah.
As a female and as a business owner.
You do.
So let's talk about the staff at Michael Matthews. I love how you engage your children and how they, actually Michael Matthews is the name of your children.
My son.
Your sons.
Yes.
And so you got Madison, your daughter, involved. You've got your boys involved. And whether they want to go into this business or not, you have them involved. But you have a full staff. So let's talk about them.
Okay, so let me do the first part where you said Michael and Matthew.
Yeah.
So we have Michael and Matthew, which are my two sons, and then we have Madison. So we have the construction company.
Madison Construction, right?
No, Madison Properties.
Madison Property. I remember her name was on something. Yes. Okay.
We have a business for her, which is our investment properties.
Okay.
And that's what we started off as. The business grew so much, we had to separate the investment from the actual construction and development. So we have two companies, two full houses. And that's where all the and each.
So are you guys still investing? You still have investment property?
Yes,
okay.
we do.
And still maintain the ones
we do.
Have? Got you. Okay.
Yes,
cool.
we do. Yes. And so with that, we have a full staff. Our children are involved. They've always been involved from 3 on up. They've always been involved. They've always done, if we were doing demolition, the boys would do demolition. During the summer times, the boys come in and work full time, and they work under the other employees. Nobody gets a free ride and gets to manage without doing the work. Madison does she is our media manager and marketing manager. Yes. So everybody is involved. Those are their legacies. So we make them work their legacy. We make their work for their future. So we have training in-house. We train our kids in-house. Our kids work under our employees so that they get the correct training and know how to operate a business, know how to run a business, know what it feels like to be under somebody else's thumb, not just ours. You don't get to walk in and just manage somebody around, tell people what to do.
Because your last name is
because your last name.
Poindexter.
Yeah, no. You're going to work under them, and they're going to tell you what to do, and you're going to get the feeling of what it feels like to be an employee in somebody's company.
So good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so good. So how many men do you have? I know you contract men to work as well.
We do. We have 17 subcontractors. We have
Oh,
17. We have 2 crews. Yes. Yes.
wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. I
And
love
we're
it.
doing transition right now. So we're going into a new phase of the company where
Mhm.
everybody is coming back in as a W-2 employee. So we're transitioning to that again. We did that
Wonderful.
in the beginning. And then for a lot of reasons we changed it, but we're going back to it again.
26 years in business,
Yes.
and you talked about the different pivots. You
Yes.
talked about 9/11. How did you guys survive the COVID-19 pandemic?
We thrived during COVID.
Did?
We thrived. We did. We did extremely well. Everybody was home and they saw
Stuff they
some of the
needed done.
yes, some of the repairs they kept
Girl.
putting off, things they had never done. Working from home, people wanted new offices, they wanted build outs. It was a new time for people to venture out, so they needed spaces to venture out into. It was great. It was wonderful.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Everybody else had the testimony, and mine was too. I mean, I was
Mhm.
able to still do my show from the house
Mhm.
and still maintain my ratings and numbers and just come on downstairs and get the show done. And so, yeah, opportunities came. So, that's one thing I believe as believers, God really looks out for us, because some people would say, oh, my job did this, it was furlough, we did this. But God covered and God opened doors and made ways. And so that's awesome.
That is. But we went through some hard times too.
Okay.
2008,
Okay.
when the housing market
Housing
crashed.
market crash.
Yeah, we were only business to business.
Mhm.
So we had to pivot and start taking on residential. We had to start taking on more clients outside of the business to business aspect.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So we have a few folk on YouTube and on Facebook, and we're on Instagram and all the socials. If you have questions for Dana, just pose your questions. If you have questions for me, pose your questions. We want to hear what you have to say. We want her to address them. We getting close. We got like 10 more minutes to go. And we gonna yeah, he's giving me the 10-minute mark. We got like 10 minutes to go. And we're gonna still continue our conversation, but I do want to give our viewers an opportunity to share. So thank you. I see a lot of familiar faces on here. Crystal McCrimmon, Sabrina Durham Moore, Tamika Davis. I see a number of people on here. So thank you guys. Don't forget to like and share and tell everybody about the podcast. It's the More Than Music podcast. Y'all know I do music, I do radio, but the More Than Music podcast, we thought we would start off by spotlighting businesses. And so these are businesses that have invested in me, of course. So I am really, really proud that Michael Matthews Construction and Development became a bronze sponsor of my Stellar Award weekend, not even knowing that I was going to come home with 2 different Stellar Awards, right?
We're so proud
with
of you.
Announcer of the Year and with Syndicated Radio Show of the Year with Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell. And before we came in today, Dana, this is big news, and you guys are getting it first on More Than Music. Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell has been nominated for a Marconi Award.
Oh,
Erica Syndicated Personality of the Year. A Marconi Award is the biggest radio award in the industry.
Wow.
And we're along the likes of some other urban and other major syndicated shows. So I am very, very proud of that. And this is just who you invested in, right?
Yes. So how does this feel, Cheryl? How does that feel?
I really am. It's hard, it's hard for me to not accept the accolades or whatever. You don't want to have the big head, but I do also want to take in the accomplishment, right? And so I've been doing some soul searching and thanking God for the opportunity, because like Michael Matthews, this has been manifested. Like God has spoken into our life to see some of these things become successful. And you're not here to interview me. I'm here to interview you. But I really am. I'm really trying to take in every moment to celebrate the victories, right? Because sometimes it's hard. And every 5 minutes, somebody's saying, congratulations. You just kind of want to be like, okay, thank you. Like, how do you react? But I do want to, I still want to, feel all the feels. I want to feel all the feels. All right. So we have a few questions that came in. Rosalind asks, are you still doing residential renovations?
Yes.
That got to be my good friend Rosalind
Yes.
Gallman.
Yes, we are, Rosalind. We are. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So not only are you doing commercial,
Mhm.
but you're doing residential. For those who don't know the difference, of course, it's home and then it's business, right?
Right.
But when it
Correct.
comes to those two contracts, which do you prefer?
Well, I like the commercial contracts because
Yep.
they come a little bit more padded.
Mhm.
So we definitely like those, but I get a different sense when I'm in somebody's home. Somebody has invited me into their sacred place.
Mhm.
And that's honoring. It's humbling, but it's honoring. You have to honor that.
So does Michael Matthews also decorate? Do you do decorations?
No, we don't do decoration.
Got
We
you.
don't. We
You should,
don't.
Dana. The way you decorate, all the glitz and glamour in your home. The way you decorate, she should probably add that to the resume.
Oh, well, thank you.
Do you stage for
No, we haven't, but we do help
Wow.
realtors when they want to
Realtors.
come in and do things. I do give them ideas because I deal
Yeah.
with a lot of residential realtors. And so we do give them ideas and suggestions on what would sell, what is the quickest way to sell, because we've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
So we do provide information, but no, we don't.
Wow.
No.
Let me tell you something. So Rosalind just posted she wants you guys to do her basement.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rosalind.
So let me tell you something, Rosalind. They just did my aunt's basement. And my aunt, let's just say my aunt hasn't done anything to her house since like the 80s, right? Every room still looks like it when she moved into this home. And you first did her bathroom.
We did. We
First
did.
did her bathroom. And I'm telling all her business, but you did her bathroom, and the bathroom just looked like a totally different part of the house. It was awesome. She's a senior and she had some surgery done. So she wanted a walk-in shower. She wanted it to be more accessible. It almost looked like you widened it, like you made it bigger. I don't know if it's how you positioned.
We did knock it out a little bit.
Okay.
Taking out the tub enlarges a bathroom anyway. So
Got
it
you.
feels much, much larger, much bigger, and it was more accessible. She can get in without a problem. So that's one of the things that we do. We have vision sometimes on what works best, how to operate when you're a senior at the wall. So there's a lot to think about when you're dealing with housing. Are the walls wheelchair accessible? Is it easy to get in and out of? So those are some of the things we think about when we're coming in.
Yeah.
And it's a senior
from the
versus
hardware. I'm looking at like the
Yes.
faucet and the shower heads and all the hardware that you got. It looks so, so good. And
So
then
I eat and sleep this, as you know. When we're on vacation, that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking, I'm constantly
what
trying
would
to
look
be
good in this
creative.
particular
Yes,
bathroom.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
And so then, Rosalind, they did my aunt's basement, gutted it out. I mean, my aunt still had wood paneling in her basement. They gutted this whole thing out and made it into to like an apartment for my cousin. Her grandson moved into the basement, and y'all made that thing look like a luxury penthouse with fireplace, like marble floors, marble walls. Like it's beautiful. So I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I can tell you firsthand. And that's just one project that I know
is just
of.
one project.
So if Rosalind was to call you today or tomorrow for her basement, what would you do first?
First thing is get her on the phone and do a consult. We have to do a consult. So finding out what the first available date for you and us, and then going through your property and seeing what your vision is. I like to know, do you have a vision board? Do you have certain ideas? Do you have and then sometimes I have to help you pick something that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
So when I do samples, I always give you something you didn't expect. We call it a wild card. Something that you didn't anticipate, but my job is to listen. My job is to look and see what your style is. What is your flavor? What do you like? Some people like bling. Some people do not.
Right.
Some people like modern. Some people like wood. What are your textures? What is it that is familiar with you? What is it that is your style? And so my job is to look and find out and listen real good. And then I give you something you didn't expect. And 9 times out of 10, my customers pick the wild card.
Wow.
Some people are like,
because that would be me. Because I was like, I don't know, Dana. Just you know me. Figure this out.
Right.
So I can see that. Robin Walker says they are excellent. I had to get a new water heater. They were timely and provided excellent service. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you. And can I just say this? For the first 15 years, we did not do any advertisement. everything was word of mouth.
Yeah.
We have recently just started to rebrand ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and put ourselves out there a little bit more and gone more mainstream. But we didn't have to advertise because people would see what we did
Yeah.
and they would say, hey, we want you to come in because I've
Mhm.
seen some of your work. So our work speaks for itself. I just wanted to say that.
I think the key, and we got to wrap up. We because
Sure.
we got 2 minutes now. We got 5 minutes. Brandon said, but the key I think is the integrity that you guys, because y'all first off, y'all know I'm not going to bring a business on that I don't believe in and that I don't support or get behind. And so because I know them personally, I know their conviction, I know their integrity. I hate because we don't always understand industry lingo. Like if I was to tell you about something happening in the studio, you would be like, what is that? Like what button and what's a pot and what's a break and what's a drop and you wouldn't know the industry lingo, right? Or radio lingo. Like I wouldn't know construction. So oftentimes people can get over. If you work in finances, people may not know or understand the lingo for finances or mortgages or whatever. But when you have companies that are integral, then you can trust that what they're doing. That's why I asked that question early on. You can trust that what they're suggesting or what they're doing is not to get over on you. It's not to take your money, but it's to make your property better, is what you said.
Because we know my husband was a realtor, so we know what makes a property resale. He was a realtor, so that we can understand all aspects of what we do. And because we do it for banks, we understand what they're looking for to increase the property value. So
I love it.
That's a part of what we offer is making sure you understand. If you do this, it's going to bring your property value down. If you do this, it'll bring your property value up. And you can decide. Some people don't want the extra and just need the basic, and that's fine.
Right.
It doesn't matter to us. We're still going to bring you the best customer service.
All right. So Brandon says, remind us of your services again as we begin to close out all the things of what Michael Matthews Construction and Development does.
So we do drywall repairs. We do basement kitchens. We do bathrooms, any electrical, any plumbing, flooring, anything that deals with the life cycle of your home is what we deal with. A lot of renovations, a lot of repairs, water damage, water heaters, water tanks.
Yeah, you redid our sump pump, our outside sump pump.
Sub pumps, we do. Yeah, decks, build outs also, because we're not just residential, we're commercial as well.
Gotcha.
So
any businesses that are starting up, beauty salons, churches. Oh my goodness.
We do.
Churches. Yes.
Any small business that needs a build out, like your Chick-fil-A, that's what's considered a build out. McDonald's coming in, that's considered a build out. They have certain specs that they need and codes that they have to follow. Everything has to be according to
and you guys can
spec,
do all
and
of
we
that.
do all of that. We read the blueprints. I've even taken the blueprint classes. I can read the specs. So we both.
And maybe you're one who holds the contracts to any government opportunities. You won't be disappointed. I promise you that. In fact, you're gonna thank me later. Kick me the tithe. No, I'm just joking.
That's right.
I'm just joking.
Your referral fee.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. But yeah, for those who are watching and those of you who know me, there's some certain companies I put my name on. There's certain companies I get behind, and this is certainly one of them. So guys, if you have any renovations, if you have any construction needs, if you're commercial, if you're residential, reach out to Michael Matthews Construction and Development. Brandon has the information scrolling. Yep, I see it. He has the information scrolling on the bottom, the website, the phone number. We posted it on my social media pages. So Cheryl Jackson Radio everywhere. You'll see it there. And so we could close out. I want you to give final words or any words of encouragement that you might want to leave for other business owners.
Okay. Thank you, first of all, for having us here. Yeah. And I just want to say,
did we touch on everything?
We did touch on
everything. You're looking at Madison because you got to make sure
did we hit everything, Madison?
We hit everything.
I got the thumbs
okay, because I don't want us to end and Madison. I'm sure you never asked. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to say, put God first. Communicate with your spouse if you're in business with a spouse. Think about what it is that you're doing, and don't do it just for the money. Do it because you love it. Do it because you can't see yourself doing anything else. and then put your whole heart in and do it. Don't always wait for the perfect opportunity or the money or the finances. Do it anyway. Just
Right.
do it.
Right. I really wish I had time to talk about the sacrifices because you guys made a lot of sacrifices in the beginning. But know that there are sacrifices that you have to make. That's going to do it for us tonight.
Yes.
I really enjoyed this. I
Me
got to get you
too.
back. Like, seriously, it's
Thank
still more
you.
that we could talk about. We can dig deeper into raising your children into business. We could really
Mm,
elaborate more on that.
thank you.
There's a number of things that we could talk about ministry opportunities. We could talk about next projects from start to finish. We could have photos. Man, we could do a
We
lot more.
can do.
But
I'm
anyway,
open. I'm open.
anyway,
I love
thank
this.
you.
So
Me too. Me too. All right. I'm
thank you.
talking with Dana Poindexter. She is co-owner of Michael Matthews Construction and Development. See all the information. You have renovations for your business or your residence. Call my friends. All right. That's going to do it for us. That's the More Than Music podcast today. Thank you for joining me. Good night.